And all of you that serve the corrupt system, did you get the memo not to take the shots? Did you get the memo not to drink the tap water? Did you get the memo? No. Oh, that's also in the White House Science Czar, how to poison your water to sterilize you. And they do it. Not just sodium fluoride. Polio, a dreaded paralyzing disease stamped out in the industrialized world, is spreading. Well, it didn't really exist in the industrialized world till they spread it. But see, they create the crisis, offer the solution. They give you the cure for one poison they gave you, one bioweapon, and then give you another. Polio, a dreaded paralyzing disease stamped out in the industrialized world, is spreading in Nigeria despite efforts to stamp it out. Health officials say in some cases it's caused by the vaccine used to fight it. Oh, kind of like you take Gardasil and you have an autoimmune response in almost every case, and then in other minority cases you die, and in other cases you just are paralyzed. I mean, I can play 60 Minutes pieces for you about it. How about the 76 shot that broke out on a military base? Then they had the swine flu already. And then they gave it to the public and killed thousands and thousands. The polio problem is just the latest challenge to global health authorities trying to convince wary citizens that vaccine can save them from the dreaded disease. For years, myths have abounded about vaccines, that they were the Western world's plan to sterilize Africans or give them AIDS. And now because Africans run and hide and won't take them, they're not getting HIV in those areas because it's in the shots. The sad polio reality fuels misguided fears and underscores the challenges authorities face using a flawed vaccine. So then they go on and admit, well, it is giving you polio, but it's a conspiracy theory that it's giving you polio. I mean, they'll have whole villages die in some, I mean, where almost everybody dies. God knows what they're giving them. I've had top virologists on. Ebola is a weaponized system created and given to the Africans. And then it just goes on. Now, as if that isn't bad enough, they tried to do HIV vaccine trials in Africa. They tried it in Asia. They tried it in Latin America. And the people there said, no way. They did a few limited tests, and it killed a lot of the people associated. In fact, don't believe me. Just search engine the term. Patients die in AIDS vaccine trial. But now I have the AP in Chicago. They want to make the school kids take it because Americans will do anything they're told. They'll do anything. And so here we are. And then, of course, HIV will explode, and then they'll run around, and everybody will wear red ribbons, and it's totally sick. We're going to come back into the martial law angle and take your calls.
This is Alex Jones. Have you heard of the Millionaire Patriot? Well, you should. He has a free handgun and 5 days of firearms training waiting for you. That's right. You can attend 5 days of world-class gun training at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute and secure a 30-state concealed weapons permit, all for pennies on the dollar. Plus, if you act fast, the Millionaire Patriot will give you a free Springfield Armory XD pistol in the caliber of your choice. I believe now is the time that you and your family need to be armed and trained to levels that exceed law enforcement and military standards. Front Sight provides such training without any boot camp mentality or drill instructor attitudes. This is real. Don't miss out. Secure a Front Sight defensive handgun course, plus a 30-state concealed weapons permit for pennies on the dollar, and get your free handgun. Go to frontsight.com today. That's FRONTSIGHT.com. Go to frontsight.com for your training and free gun.
So I just gave you the Associated Press, German newspapers, British newspapers. That is just news the last few days about flu vaccine killing people, brain damaging people. And then you talk about it, and local media will laugh at you like you're a conspiracy theorist because you know how to read the Associated Press. Very, very confusing. And I happen to know the polio shots that they still give people have live cancer virus that is communicable. That means even if you haven't taken the shot, you can spread it. Every major sewer supply in the world has had government studies, and they study to find it and are pleased by it, that every sewage system has the SV40 cancer virus in it and its mutation variants. So when we see them hyping up a couple hundred deaths in the U.S., less than 2,000 worldwide, when regular flu kills hundreds and hundreds, close to 500,000 a year, 37,000 a year on average, CDC numbers in the U.S. What's the big deal? I mean, if they've basically already shut down many areas of the world for a few thousand deaths, what's going to happen when thousands are dying in the United States compared to 37,000? People are going to be freaking out. People are going to be freaking out. And so the issue isn't the flu. The issue is the vaccine, what's in it. Or do they know it's going to mutate into something particularly deadly? It could. It could be an earlier version of an engineered virus. And top virologists we've interviewed here, and BBC has reported, and many others, that it is an engineered virus, that it was made in a lab. They know by its pedigree, by how it was designed, by the human, bird, and swine mixtures that are involved. What is it, 2 parts human, 1 part swine, 1 part bird. So we have all of that going on. And the trials, they're keeping it very quiet that the trials are killing people. Just like Gardasil killed a bunch of people and they didn't care. Very, very strange. A warning that the new swine flu jab is linked to a deadly nerve disease has been sent by the government to senior neurologists in a confidential letter. The letter from the Health Protection Agency, the official body that oversees public health, has been leaked to the Mail on Sunday. This is the Mail on Sunday. Leading to demands to know why the information has not been given to the public before the vaccination of millions of people, including children, begins. It tells the neurologists that they must be alert for an increase in brain disorder called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And that's only the beginning, folks. I mean, this is... The U.S. government admits in multiple studies, and when I say hundreds, it's in the hundreds. I haven't counted them up. They know 3 flu shots on average doubles your chance of Alzheimer's. Why? The adjuvants alone that accelerate the autoimmune response cause brain swelling, cause basically poison ivy inside your skull. I mean, it's the same, that's what poison ivy is an autoimmune response. It swells up. It has inflammation. Your pancreas does. Other organs do. And it just fries you. It fries you. It's like taking a hard drive and throwing it up against the wall. You know, you're going to be lucky if that hard drive ever works again. And so you wonder why you go down the average American street and this 4-year-old's dying of cancer, this 10-year-old's dying. It's kind of like the parents wear the little ribbons. And yeah, it's what we do now. We have kids, so they die of cancer. Or they got tubes coming out and they're all on respirators. And it's like, yeah, the new thing in America is, you know, you go to a public school of a couple hundred kids and there's 20 of them dying of cancer. It's normal. Inject, inject, inject. Oh, the brain damage. It's wonderful. Don't listen to Alex. He's crazy. He just reads government documents where they admit they're doing it on purpose. It just freaks him out because he's actually normal. I'm normal, folks. It freaks me out. I read over and over again how they get caught putting HIV and polio and sterilants in the vaccines all over the world. I can type into a search engine right now for you, tetanus shot sterilization, and you'll get hundreds of mainstream news articles, documents, admissions. They did investigations, caught the UN doing it. It's a fact, okay? Psychos run everything. I promise to be calm. Just how are you calm? And you've got these gullible, poor, simple-minded people. I look at the public, and they just are like lambs to the slaughter. They're like people in Nazi Germany, the famous film footage of them being run into pits to be shot in the back of the head. They don't even fight back when they're being run into the pits. Well, not me. I'm fighting back. And if people would just wake up and stand up and say no to all this, it could end. The nightmare could end if you would admit it was going on. But just like Germans, you're in denial. And so fine. Okay, drink more tap water. Take more vaccines. I'm not saying there couldn't be good vaccines. I'm not saying there isn't acquired immunity. But it's been proven in the real studies that it's not even 50% acquired immunity, and it causes more problems than it answers because they grow most vaccines on dead dogs, dead monkeys, and now that was the majority before. You can pull these numbers up. Now the majority of it's grown on dead babies. Thank God they're trying to move to caterpillar eggs. Don't ask me why that's where they grow them. It's what works. But this, and then they'll lie to you and say, oh, this is grown on eggs, egg yolks, egg whites. And that's technically true. But the seed virus or whatever they're going for is grown on the dead babies, mainly retinal tissue for some reason. And then that's taken and then grown on other things. Oh, I can't handle it anymore. In fact, people don't believe me right now. We're simulcasting at prisonplanet.tv. Search engine the term vaccines grown on fetal tissue. We'll give you an AP, a Reuters, a BBC. Because I understand you don't believe me, that's fine.